It is time to stop being just another copy and paste version of other people, of this person, of that person over there, of your neighbor, of that person that you follow. The internet is full of copy and paste versions. And if you want to succeed in your life, if you want to manifest your dream life, if you want to have a successful online business or whichever business you desire, what will stand out is your uniqueness. What will stand out is your authenticity, and not if you were able to do exactly what this person did in their content, or if you were able to create a program that is similar to this person's content, or if you were able to create a program that is similar to this person's program, or if you're starting yoga because you believe it's going to give you that amazing body that it gave your best friend. This is your life. And the more that you can live it true to yourself, the more you're going to stand out. And the more you're going to stand out, the more likely will you see the success that you desire in your business, in your life, in your relationship, really every area of your life. It's so interesting how, as human beings, we are wired to be liked by everyone, right? We are wired to be part of a group for survival purposes. Many, many years ago, this is the way that we survived. We needed to be part of a tribe. We needed to be part of a group. Today, we still have the same wiring in our brains. But today, this wiring is no longer necessary because we have so much more possibilities to be seen by so many more people that are actually meant to be part in our lives. But now what happens is we look at people that have a big following, huge success, a big audience, and we look at what they're doing and we want their life. We want the same money. We want the same relationship. We want the same success. And so we ask ourselves, well, what is it that they have done? I want to do the same thing. We end up becoming just like everyone else, copying everyone else, deciding that the way that they said it is better than the way that we think it, deciding that the way that they created a video is better than the way that I wanted to create a video. And I'm saying this from my own self, knowing how it feels like to not know if I'm actually speaking my authentic voice or not, to not know if I'm actually being true to myself or doing something that I thought I had to do based on what someone else was telling me was the right thing to do, or what I saw worked for someone else, I needed to apply to myself. And again, I'm saying this from that standpoint that I found myself many times in my business, in my life, questioning, wondering, is this really me? Or am I trying to do it a certain way so that I have the same results as the person I'm admiring? And I do think there is a fine line between being just another copy and paste or being the version of you that is truly authentically you. Now, the question becomes, how do you know if you're authentically you? In a world like today, where we are programmed early on about the beliefs that we have to have, the things that we have to do, the hours that we have to work, the system that we have to comply, it can become very difficult to understand who we actually are authentically, because everyone is going to have opinions. Everyone is going to have opinions based on programs that are running within them. And I've also found that especially women at the age of around 35 reach a point where they realize, I'm not living a life based on what I want my life to look like. I'm living a life based on what I think it has to look like, based on my parents' expectations because my parents told me to study this and that when I was 20 years old, or based on societal expectations of having to have children, or having to have a house, or having to have the traditional family life, let's say. And I've had so many conversations with women that age, younger or older, doesn't matter, that are realizing I'm actually not living a life based on what I want. Even this concept of wanting children or not, I know it's very controversial, but so many people are starting to realize that they've only wanted children because society told them they had to, or they're going to miss out, or they're going to whatever that might be. But is it really what that person actually wants? The world has changed so much since 20, 30, 40 years ago, of course. Finding back to our authentic self means stripping off all of these layers of the things that we've learned, the things that we've been programmed to believe, the things that we have taken on as our own truth. And in order for us to not become another copy and paste version of ourselves, we have to take that time to truly reflect on what makes us fulfilled and happy. And even that concept of happiness, I find can become so complicated and complex, because what is happiness really? Like, what does it actually mean? But in my opinion, true happiness is found when we start living life according to our ideas of what we want life to look like for us, not for this person over there or trying to copy this person over here. And I don't think this is about judgment or feeling like there's something wrong if you copy and paste, or there's something wrong if you compare. But what you're doing is you are denying yourself from your most fulfilling life by looking at what everyone else is doing. Now, there's a difference between being inspired by someone and copy and pasting that person. For me, inspiration is looking at another person and seeing how they were able to create their life on their terms, making me believe I can do this too, but not their way, but my way, right? So inspiration is not, let me look at what they have done and let me do the exact same thing. Even when we look at, I want to say, business formula, this is a very, very big thing. If you're a business owner, whatever business you have, but especially in the online business world, there's so many business coaches that teach a formula, like do this, do that, do that, do that. And when you do all these steps, you're going to be able to have a $50,000 a month business. But it's not as simple as that. I've seen people, including myself, doing this formula and not getting the end result. Why not? Because this formula wasn't meant for them. Just because you can follow step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doesn't mean step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is meant for every person on planet Earth. It's a very individual approach because we're all so different. To take it a step further, if you know about human design has completely changed my life. I'm a projector. Learning that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps doesn't work for me as a projector has given me so much more freedom to design my life and my business the way that it actually works for me. And I'm kind of tired of seeing all these cookie cutter step-by-step formulas on how to heal your relationship with money and how to do this and how to do that. Like, yes, certain things do work, but so many people do these things and still are not seeing the results that they want to because it is not actually meant for them the way that it was written. And the more that we realize that we are individual beings with a very unique background, a very unique blueprint of experiences, a very unique identity, and a very unique way of wanting to live life. And the more that we look at it more from that perspective and ask ourselves, what is it that I truly want? Then we can create a business of our lives, of our dreams. Then we can create a life of our dreams. Then we will be able to attract a relationship that nourishes us, that is the one for us, but not the other way around, right? Especially because we live in a world where information is so readily available at a literally push of a button on ChatGPT or AI. You immediately have everything laid out for you, six steps to da-da-da-da-da. It's so easy today. But that is not enough for us humans to actually get what it is that we want. And for some, it will be, which is great. But I've met many, many, many people I work with, my clients, who are tired of this cookie cutter approach to life. Life is not copy and paste. Life is not, they have done this, I want this, I'm going to do this too. The more that we can become aware of our heart's desires, but not only our heart's desires, but also this approach to life that is uniquely ours, we will start seeing the results that we want to. And that's why, so many times we're stuck in that hard work, in that grinding, in that learning, in that improving, which it's fine. But if that hasn't moved the needle yet, you got to ask yourself, am I living life according to my truth? And it doesn't matter how many times you have to pivot or how many times you have to change or change your opinion, but every time you will get closer to that truth that is meant to be lived and expressed by you. And that to me is also the simplification of life. That to me is realizing life is actually a lot more simpler once we slow down and we look within, right? Once we slow down and we actually ask ourselves, what is it that I want? Not what is it that my mother wants or this person wants for me? Going back to what I said, that a lot of women find themselves around the age of 35 questioning if they're living life according to their own truth. Oftentimes, it's because of what I call the shadow that we all have within us, all the shadows that we carry, all the parts of ourselves that we have been suppressing, all the parts of ourselves that we have made wrong, that we believe are wrong. But all these parts, when we start to do this work, to move away from that copy and pasting of everyone else, and we embrace those shadows of the parts of ourselves that we learned are wrong or not enough or too much, and we actually bring them back to who we always have meant to be, that's when we find back to our authentic self. That's when we find back to who we always meant to be, to that true version of ourselves. And once we do that, we can build businesses and lives according to our own truth, not according to other people's truths. I hope that this message is reaching the right people. If it is reaching the right person, let me know down below. Share your thoughts with me. I really would appreciate that. I'm sending you so much love, and until the next time. Bye-bye.